Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is, or you've got a bit lost. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chatty. This is my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter, and I'm going to be chatting away madly about what I'm going to be reading over the next couple of months, possibly mainly focused on May, but I am going to be letting this kind of trickle into June as well. I'm probably going to do another catch-up kind of like at the beginning of June, just in terms of this is possibly what I'm going to read. I hope that makes sense. So I'm just going to have a little bit of a brief chat, and then I'm going to go into the game. We're going to be doing 6 roles, and then I'm going to be talking about readathons and other things that I'm planning to be reading. So first of all, I hope you've all got your tiny teacups ready, because I'm doing my usual one shot, no editing. The camera keeps rolling, the crazy happens, and we see where it takes us. So cheers, everyone. Clink, 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 clink. So there we go. Thank you, tiny teacup. So I've been loving all the books that I'm reading, but I'm starting to feel a little bit overwhelmed by life. Whether that is because of, sorry, I'm just going to grab a drink. That is much better. My tea was quite far away. And I've totally lost my train of thought. So yeah, I've just been feeling quite overwhelmed a little bit by other things that I need to be doing beyond reading in my life. Reading's so much easier. I just pick up a book, open it and read. It's just nice and straightforward. But yeah, my life has sort of been getting away from me a little bit. So I'm starting to feel a little bit of reading pressure again, which I don't want to do. But I do love playing the game. I do love like random ways of choosing things. The plans have crept up, which is great. It's fun because I really enjoy, again, May is full of readathons that I really love. And I'm trying to stay just doing a little bit. And I think I am for all of them. But one of the readathons, I can't. I just want to read books for it. So, and that's the SPOONIES Readathon. I love the SPOONIES Readathon. I think Emily does such an amazing job with it. She's really passionate about it. It's her passion project, and also it is one of the areas of books where I'm not reading as much. I will also be taking part in the Asian Readathon, but I do have quite a lot of Asian books that I'm kind of continuously reading, so I don't feel I need to like put too much emphasis on that one, and I'm just kind of gonna let the things fall where they may. And the other readathon is the Middlegrade May readathons. That's for anyone who missed out in March. There's more chance to be reading in May. Obviously I love Middlegrade, so I want to be joining in with that as well. Again, Middlegrade is not something I struggle to read, so I'm not going to be pushing too much emphasis on that one. So that being said, I also have buddy reads, so there's lots of things, and I'm like, I don't have a lot of free reading choice. So to make me feel like I've got free reading choice, I am merging May and June together to give myself more time, because I do enjoy like lists and stat collecting, and at the moment it is still fun for me. I'm still just doing it as I'm curious rather than I need to be hitting certain types of goals. I have very got, that is not that is not grammatically correct. I have got very comfortable in that I'm interested in what I want to be doing, but I'm also aware that I'm not completely getting there, but that's okay. But I want to keep those goals because I want to keep striving for those particular things. So that's all right. But I am greedy with books. And when I've kind of put them on my list, I want to read them. But I'm also listening to my mood as well. And there's certain times where I am not, it's not the right time for the book. I'm a big believer in you read the book at the right time. And I enjoy it so much more. And this has definitely happened to me over April. And there's a lot of stuff happening over April, and my mood has been a little bit all over the place. And there's certain books I've gone, I love this book so much, but I'm feeling stressed out by it because I'm not in the right headspace for it. So I'm just going to have to put that over here and come back to it when I'm in a better headspace. And then I've kind of gone more for my comfort reads to kind of get me back into where I need to be. And oh my goodness, I have been waffling for a long time. This is basically a roundabout way of me saying I want to merge May and June together, and that's what this is. Okay, great, lovely. This has turned into a massive waffly chat. It's therapy time. It's been a while since I've been in front of the camera in this kind of fashion, so woohoo. Right, let's drink tea and let's crack on with this because I'm waffling away merrily. Cheers.
Brief explanation of the game. It is essentially snakes and ladders, but because it's bookish, it is Bookladders and Bookworms. So I start in the central on the ground floor of the library, and I can choose which way to come out, and I can choose which direction to go in. After that first roll, I've locked in the direction of clockwise or anti-clockwise. Once I go up a ladder, there are two, or down a snake, no, down a worm, and there is one, I progress to the first and second bookshelves. And yes, where was I going with this? Oh, and then I roll 2 dice. That was it. I knew there was a point. It's late and the brain cells have disappeared dramatically. Anyway, there is no set place to go. It is just to generate choices. And as you can see, we have, I still haven't, it's been years and I have not coloured in that final section of bookshelves. The colours green, pink, blue and yellow all mean something. I correspond prompts to those. And the ladders give me prompts that are going to be kinder to me. And the worms give me prompts that are going to be not so kind to me. And I have made the game flexible so I can make it work for me. So sometimes I will say, if I land on a colour more than twice, I have to do a more difficult challenge. I'm not doing that this time. We're keeping it very, very basic this time. So I will just go through the rest of the prompts before telling you what the colours are going to be for this game. So the ladders, I said, give me are kinder to me. So these are my lucky ladder cards. These prompts are a lot more open-ended and they involve one, which is the Feagle, which is a character from Terry Pratchett's Discworld. It is a Nag McFeagle and they love drinking, fighting and stealing. So I get to steal a book from under my bed without having to earn it for healthy points, because that is what I do to earn books, generally. Sometimes I don't, but generally I do. The worrying worms are a lot more challenging. So I also have regular prompts, which I use for some colour prompts. The regular prompts might be find an author that's name begins with B, and I could choose an author with their first name being B or their surname being B. But if it's a worrying worm, I specifically state it has to be the surname or the first name. So it just makes me, it's more prescriptive, so it makes me work harder to fit a book into the prompt. And it also involves, it's just appeared, the One Ring. So the One Ring is where, if this card comes up, the first person in the comments to say one ring to rule them all, one ring to bind them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness find them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. Yes, it's from Lord of the Rings, if you weren't sure. They get to choose what I read, and it can be anything, provided I can get hold of it. If I can't get it cheaply from World of Books or from the library, then I'm not paying money to read a book. But if I can, then you get to choose what book I read. And I have both the Feagle and the One Ring playing in this version of the game, but that's it for other extra cards. Okay, anyone who wanted to skip because you have heard this rigmarole many a time, you can come back while I tell you what the colour prompts are going to be. Usually I have a board. I've run out of my whiteboard pens. They're just not working. So I'm just going to tell you what they are today, and you can use your imagination. You can imagine a little board. So for the colour green, if I land on green, I would be pulling out a theme card. Theme cards are just a book related to a theme. It could be an element, it could be to do with nature, it could be to do with something that might be in the book, like magic or something like that. And so a book needs to give me that vibe or theme. Yellow, more straightforward, it's genre and age range cards. So it could be pick a YA book, or it could be pick a classic book, or pick a mystery book, that kind of thing. A little blue. Yes, I'm bringing back a favourite. It's going to be 30-second prompt again. So I pull a prompt card and I have 30 seconds to get a book that fulfills that prompt. I have only failed this once. So then I had
2 books I added to the pile because I had to do another 30-second prompt because I let the time run out. And then finally, I'm keeping it in. It is the TBR tin. So if I land on a pink, I'm picking up a book from the TBR tin. And I haven't decided if I'm just going to pick the first one out. I know I'm feeling the pressure. So we'll pick out 2 or 4. And I always pick one new one that's kind of come into my house in the last year and one veteran, which is like one of my older books. So I picked one of the 2. And that's been working quite nicely. I have been quite excited to get to these books. It's like an extra reminder to pick these ones off your shelf. And that's everything. So we can just start playing the game. I've got 6 rolls that I'm doing. And then once I've done that, I will work out what other things I might be reading over Mayish June.
Starting off with the 1 dice, going to give it a shake, and it didn't land on there, but that was a 3. So going clockwise, that would be either green, blue, green again, or yellow. And anti-clockwise, oh, I could get a ladder. I could get a worm, so we're not going to do that. We're going to go anti-clockwise and get the lucky ladder. 1, 2, 3.
So starting off uber kind to myself, just shuffly the cards, and I'm not looking, and I'm just going to pick this one, and it is not the Feagle. It is choose a 5-star prediction. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to have a little look at some books that were some possibilities, and I'll see if I can get there. Rereads don't count because I've already read them, so I already know whether or not they're 5 stars, so not going to be a reread. Okay, I've got 2 possibilities. 5-star predictions, I'm not going to say freak me out, but I don't like to put that much pressure on my books because I don't want them to fall short. And if I'm going in with massively hyper expectations, I will feel sad if they don't meet them and I put too much pressure on that book, because 4-star books are still wonderful. But I've gone for 2 that I think are the most likely to be 5 stars. So what makes me love a book the most is the emotional impact it has. From doing a lot of reading over the years, I have come to realise my tastes, and that is what makes me love a book, that big emotional connection. So I've got 2 books that I think are emotionally going to hit me, so therefore I think they're going to be 5 stars. The first one is The Mountains Sing by Nguyen Phan Quay Mai. Apologies for my pronunciation with the name. This is by a Vietnamese author set in Vietnam, and I think it's it's two generations in a family. It starts in 1972, so it's historical. I just feel I'm really going to love this book. This is one of the books that I received in Shelter Box, and several years ago I started a Shelter Book Box prediction, and this is my second to last Shelter Box book that I need to read from that year for me to judge how well I thought the books would be. And I think this is the one, if I remember rightly, this is the one I predicted I was going to love the most. Eghe, I can't remember her channel, but I will link it below, raved about this book and has made me really excited to read it. Again, that was a while ago. So this has been around for a while, and it hasn't been its time. But I managed to read 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster, which I was quite nervous about, with Emily in April. So I do feel that I'm finally ready for The Mountain to Sing. And also it works perfectly for the Asian Readathon. The other option I have is Under Rose-Tainted Skies by Louise Gornell. This was praised by Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe. This is a book about a girl with agoraphobia and OCD, and just sort of like trying to let people into her life. I think there is a bit of a romantic element to it as well. And it's a YA, and I usually really enjoy YA contemporary. I just think I connect with teenagers more than I do adults, which feels a bit weird. Anyway, I think this has got a good emotional impact to it as well. So either of these I think have got the best chance of being 5 stars, and I am going to go for the Mountains Sing. So that's my first choice. There we go. Mountains Sing. Let's do the second roll.
So we can have 2 dice now. So let's roll. And one has fallen over. So I have another 3. And the yellow one I'm rolling again because that didn't work. And it's knocked over the other one. That's a 4. And this was a 3. So that makes 7. And we were anti-clockwise. So this takes us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is green.
And green is a theme card. So we will shuffly and pick one of these. And I am going for this one, which is Transport. Book with transport on the cover. I think I know exactly which one I'm going to pick, but I'm just going to check some other books as well. And when it comes to transport, I can't really pick anything other than this fantastic middle grade series, The Adventures on Trains. I am due to read the 5th book now, so I have this out of the library. This is Sabotage on the Solar Express by M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman. So both of them created the story together, and it is illustrated by Elisa Panganelli, and I love the illustrations so much because part of the story of the book is our protagonist Hal loves art and he draws, and part of his mystery solving skills come from him drawing things. He's got one of those memories where it's like a little bit like a photographic memory, like from observation and stuff, and then he can draw what he's remembered, and that often helps him remember stuff and use that within the detectiving. I loved the last one I read, Danger at Dead Man's Past. It was my favourite so far, so we'll see how I get on with this one. This is set in Australia, so it's giving us a much warmer temperature to be detectiving in. So detecting in, not detectiving. I'm really sorry. My brain is fried, and it's very hot at the moment, so I feel that's definitely going to work in terms of the mood read.
Roll number 3. I'm going to roll them individually now. I've learnt my lesson. So 1 is a 1. And the yellow dice is going to give us a 6. So 7 again. Okay, so moving the cup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are blue this time.
It's 30-second prompt. Timer is set. The prompts are here. I need to shuffle. I can't just pick the top one. I don't trust it, and I feel like I need to shuffle to make it work. So I'm going to shuffle these up, pick a card, turn it on, and then read it. And I have picked the top one, and I'm pressing start. Okay, it is a fun book. Oh, a fun book. What's fun? None of the ones I have are fun. Okay, panic. Got it. This one, Frontier. I feel Frontier will be fun. And I've got 12 seconds left. Yay! Okay. I think I panicked then. I could have gone for Nevermore. I forgot about the next Nevermore book, but never mind. Frontier has been a book I've wanted to read for a long time, and I've been excited about and anticipating, and it just hasn't been its moment. It just hasn't been the moment for Frontier, and actually I definitely think I need this on the list for this month. Because I can't even talk sense at the moment, and yes, I'm just feeling frazzled, so this will be nice to not feel frazzled with. Frontier is by Grace Curtis. It is a sci-fi, and the tagline is love, loss and laser guns, and I think that sounds a load of fun. Because the concepts together sound silly. You've got like the powerful emotions of love and loss, and then laser guns. So on the front cover here we have it looks like a train carriage that is like on its side, and we've got purple smoke coming from it. We've got quite a wasteland, deserty type thing on this planet. It's got pinks and purples kind of color palette. On the back we've got the tagline, and then down at the bottom here we have a tortoise. And actually that's quite cool because that links into Middlegrade May, which I will go on to talk about in a moment. Not that it's at all relevant, it's just quite cute. and I really like the end pages here. We have a mysterious figure. It looks a little bit kind of like a Lone Ranger, kind of cowboy-esque. There's a gun holster, and there's a hat here, and there's a landscape. I think this is to do with a stranger coming to a place, and there's a sapphic romance in here, I think, and I'm quite excited about it. So there we go. That works for a fun book. Let's do roll number 4.
Okay, first dice. It's 6 again, because why change? And the second is a 2, so this time we have 8. So moving along, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's another lucky ladder. Oh, how exciting. Oh, and I've dropped it, but we're at the top of a ladder.
So I have already drawn out one of the 3 lucky ladder cards, so the chance of me getting a fecal is 50%. So shuffly, 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 and I'm going for this one, and I've no idea what it is, and it is... It's fecal! Yes! Okay, so I'm going to go grab my book. So I'm very excited to pull out a book for the SPOONIES Readathon. It's middle grade. It's one I'm really excited about. I saw it in a charity shop and I was like, that is coming home with me. It is in pristine condition. It is Show Us Who You Are by Elle McNichol. I love and adore A Kind of Sparking Keedy. I think they are so fantastic. I want to read everything that Elle McNichol has written. This is her, I believe it's her second book after A Kind of Spark. So in terms of like what she's published, this is a sci-fi. It's to do with holographs. I think I'm saying it correctly. I don't know why I'm stumbling with that word, but I think it's to do with holographs. And I know the protagonist is neurodivergent. And other than that, I've no idea, and I don't need to have any idea because it's Elle McNichol, it's middle grade, and I'm thrilled.
Roll number 5. First dice is a 4, and the second dice is a falling off 3. Oh, we're back on 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't believe it. 7. Right, 2 lucky ladders is a lot. We are going to do the prompt, and we have gone up the ladder, but what I would have landed on was yellow, so I'm going to do yellow because I've not done a yellow prompt yet.
Okay, and yellow was genres or age ranges. So let's see what we get. Here I'm shuffling again, and I'm going for this one, which is a sci-fi. I actually already have 2 sci-fi already on my list, but that's fine. We can add more. And I know what I'm going to pick, but I can't go and get it because it's in my son's room and he's asleep. And I want to pick the next graphic novel in the 5 World series. I read number 3, so I'm now on number 4, and that is it's coming to me. Something to do with an amulet. I can't remember. Hold on. Not an amulet, it's amber. It's called the Amber Anthem. It's on the back of this book here. I don't think it's going to be clear enough for you to see it at all, but it's this one here. So I'll put this in as a placeholder. But yes, graphic novel. That works well. Final roll.
Okay, dice number 1 is a 3. Dice number 2 is a 1, so it's 4. And we are going anti-clockwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It is green. And green is theme card again, which is over here. So shuffling them up, and I will pick out this one, and that is water. Water. Okay, let's have a look. I'm going to choose another book that I don't currently have with me. So one of the series that I am reading is the Green Wild series, and the second book in the Green Wild series is called
city of the sea, on the sea, under the sea. It's a city and it's to do with the sea. So it's set underwater. So that absolutely works. So that is the one that I will be choosing. I'm actually going to my parents' house this weekend where my mum has a copy of the book. So I might be borrowing her copy. I'm sure she won't mind. It's a middle grade book, so I'm hoping I can read it over the weekend, but we'll see. Anyway, that is the one I am choosing for that one, so I will need to grab another book as a placeholder. So here is my pile of books for May and June. I have The Mountains Sing, which was a Lucky Ladder 5-star prediction. Sabotage on the Solar Express, which was a theme card transport. Frontier, which was a 30-second prompt, a fun book. Show Us Who You Are, which was a Feagle. I stole it from under my bed. Then I had genre sci-fi, and I have the Five Worlds book number 4, The Amulet. No, not an amulet. Amber something. Apologies, it'll be in the description box. And finally, I got another theme card, which was water, and I have Green Wild City Beyond the Sea. So there we go. Those are my May and June books that I'll be getting through. 4 middle grade in that pile and 2 adults. So I think it says a lot about what I'm in the mood for right now, and it's middle grade. 3 sci-fi though, which I don't think I've ever had before mixed in a list. So that's quite exciting. Okay, other books that I'm planning to read. So I have got 4 buddy reads over May and June. I'm mainly focusing on the May ones. Let me grab those. So I'm continuing with my 2 middle grade read-alongs that I'm doing with some absolutely lovely people on my Discord, Middle Grade Mad Chat. We are all middle grade lovers, and it is just so delightful to be reading books within these people's company. So first of all, we have Gut Reaction. This came 3rd in the Middle Grade Readers' Choice Awards. If you're not sure what that is, I will leave a little link here and you can go and have a look. And this is by Kirby Larson and Quinn Wyatt. And it is about a protagonist who is struggling with the loss of her father. He did a lot of cooking. She wants to enter a baking competition. But whilst doing that, she starts to have like stomach problems. She doesn't really know what's going on. And so it explores the illness that she has, along with trying to be in this baking competition. I think it's going to be an emotional one. I've heard really good things looking at the reviews for this one, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I will be reading this with Lucia, Tiffany and Stacy. And then I'm continuing with the Mogalong. So the May book is Wondersmith. This will be a reread for me. Wondersmith, The Calling of Morrigan Crow. I loved rereading Nevermore. I'm so excited to be continuing with this. I need to catch up with the Jessica Townsend videos. I will link those in the description box if you have not found them yet. Jessica Townsend, the author, is doing a read along, and you can catch her talking through her thoughts on all of the chapters as she goes, which is wonderful. I've seen quite a lot, but I haven't finished catching up yet. So we are reading Ready for Silvermorn, which is coming out. Some of you will already had it if you're in Australia. Some of you in the UK, you might be getting it soon. Other people in the US, you're going to be waiting a while. So we're going to be reading it with you and making sure everyone has got the book. But yes, really looking forward to rereading Wondersmith. So I am doing it with the people I already mentioned, plus Cloe from Phantom of the Pages is reading this with us, and also Julie from Once Upon a Julie. So yay! Then the other book I am reading is one book for the Spoonies Readathon, and that is Sing If You Can't Dance, and this is for the prompt visible disability. And this is, I think it's a YA contemporary, and it looks at someone who loses the they can no longer, I can't remember exactly what happens, but there is a reason why they can no longer dance. So then they start trying to look ahead and sing instead as a way of expressing their creativity. I know Emily said that Olivia was raving about it, another Olivia recommendation, last year. So we're all very excited, and I'm joining Emily from No Film Novels, and Kat from Brews and Reviews, and Danny from Danny's Book World, buddy reading that one. My final buddy read, this is a May/June one, so I might be moving more into June for reading this one, and that is Kiki's Delivery Service. And this is part of the Read Around the Globe YA and Middle Grade, which is a year read along, focusing on translated fiction, which has been organised by Katia from Page Turners with Katia and Jack from Spread Book Joy. I really enjoyed reading the first 2 books in this, so I'm very excited to be reading Kiki. I don't have my own copy yet. I have ordered the Waterstones Cloth Classic, which I'm really excited about getting, but it doesn't come out till June, so I'm really not reading this until June, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. Okay, so those are all the buddy read ones. I've got some mystery books that I will not be revealing, so I kind of need to hold them a bit like this so you can't completely see. So I've got 3 books here. These are my 3 Can I Read romance books. So in this pile is a contemporary, in this pile is a historical, and in this pile is a fantasy romance. So I'm going to be reading all of those, and I will be doing my first video at some point where I will be telling you my thoughts on the first few chapters, and then how my reading journey goes, and then doing another video where I talk through all of my thoughts, spoiler and non-spoiler, and then put them through the romance rater and compare. Can I read romance this time? We will find out. So then I will be talking about the readathon books. So I have got yes, so I've already got 2 Spoonie books in here. So the gut reaction I'm using for invisible disability. No. Yes, invisible disability for gut reaction. Show Us Who You Are is my happy book. That's my book to make me happy. So that's great. I've already mentioned Sing If You Can't Dance is my visible disability. My Own Voices, a book I've already mentioned, is going to be Under Rose Tainted Skies by Louise Gornell. So she wanted to focus, sort of talking from her own experiences of struggling with things like OCD and agoraphobia. And then the final book for the Spoonies Readathon is a non-fiction book, and I have got Break the Mold by Sinead Burke, How to Take Your Place in the World, and this is illustrated by Natalie Brine. So I think this is a book that is accessible for middle grade, definitely for YA, but possibly also middle grade as well. So I think it's a nice place to start. And Sinead Burke is a teacher, activist and little person drawing on her own experiences. This is her guide to believing in yourself, having pride in who you are, and using your voice to make the world a fairer and more inclusive place. And I really feel at the moment that the more voices we can hear from people actually going through life with these things, the better it is for us to understand how society can actually support them and bring them up into society, rather than making everyone feel othered if they don't hit the societal norm. So really looking forward to reading this one. My Asian readathon choices. So I have already got just one book. One book in the pile that I got through my game. So that was a Vietnamese author. I have a Malaysian author, and the story is set in Singapore, in my Can I Read romance pile. So I'm not telling you what that one is. The prompts for I haven't been talking about readathons very well at all. So let me try again. Okay, so I've just rushed through the Spoonies Readathon. The Spoonies Readathon, if you don't know, is created by Emily from No Film Novels with the co-host of Kat from Brews and Reviews. I am linking both of their announcement videos and their channels in the description box, so you can go along and see the prompts and find out more about how to get involved with that readathon. The Asian Readathon is with Cindy. Again, I will link her channel and I will link her announcement video. So this is based on 5 Asian films that have sort of like come out or been inspired by Asian films this year. So the first prompt is an Asian fantasy or a bestseller. The Asian fantasy that I will be using is Kiki's Delivery Service, and that is by a Japanese author. This also works for prompt number 4, which is an international book which has been translated, or should have won an award. So Kiki's Delivery Service is a classic. I don't know if it's won an award or been up for an award, but I feel if it's a classic, it's probably award worthy. But it's definitely an international book because it has been translated from Japanese into various other languages, including English, which is why I will be reading it in. Prompt number 2 is an LGBTQ plus character or a retelling. For this one, I possibly will be rereading, come here, Iron Widow by Ziran J. Zhao. This would also work for a character with a visible disability as well, because our protagonist really struggles with walking because of what happened to her feet when she was younger. So this has got queer characters in it. It would be a reread for me because then I can go on and read the next book in the trilogy, which is Heavenly Tyrant, but I wanted to reread this one first. It might be its time in May and June. It might not be. I'm not putting pressure on myself, but it's a possibility. It could be out there. I definitely want to be reading it, and it would work for this prompt. And that and Ziran J. Zhao is a Chinese author. Oh yeah, so the next one is a book with an emotional impact or featuring an older character. Well, as I've already mentioned, The Mountains thing I think is going to have a big emotional impact on me, so that is what I'll be using for that. And the final prompt, which I think this is one I couldn't find anything for. Oh, yeah, okay. So the final prompt is a non-fiction or a political book. I feel that The Mountains Sing could be quite political because I think there might be some social issues being explored within that book. The same for... Where's it gone? Where did I put it? Oh, it's here underneath me. The same for a book I've not yet mentioned, which is The Bridge Home by Padma Venkatraman. So I think this looks at the social issue of homelessness and street children in India. So this would definitely work for that one. So I think that is my 5 possibilities for the Asian Readathon. I might not get to all of them. I definitely have ones that I'm prioritising over others, and we'll see how I get on. But should I read them all? Because one of the things Cindy encourages everyone to do is to read books that cover a wide variety of Asian cultures. So we have India, China, Malaysian, Vietnamese, Japanese, and another one that I haven't mentioned yet, but is on my list. So Parry Thomas is of Iranian heritage, so also that one. So wide variety of different ones, but City Beyond the Sea could fit into fantasy. It's not set in an Asian setting, but our protagonist is of Iranian heritage. So there we go, that is that one. And finally I have Middlegrade May. So this is the readathon that is being led by Lizzie Faye Loves Books, with the co-hosts from Storm Reads, Dark Roots Creations, Soul Stained Ink. Again, all the channels and the videos will be in the description box. So this is called the Tortoise and the Hare this time, and the theme is either you read slow and steady like a tortoise, or you might be like a hare and racing through and trying to read as many middle grade books as you possibly can in May. I think some people are doing the 30 days in May challenge or something like that. The one prompt they have is because it's a race between the tortoise and the hare, you want to read a winner. So you want to read an award-winning book. And the Walter Dean Myers Award for Outstanding Children's Literature was won by The Bridge Home. So this is the book that I'll be reading for an award-winning book. Ow, just bashed myself in my glasses. And you can also read Aesop's Fables, The Tortoise and the Hare. I won't be reading Aesop's Fables at the moment because that is not something that I want to read at the moment. I've got many other things that I'm wanting to read. But as you can see, I have a whole array of middle grade books on here that I'm going to very much enjoy getting into. And that is everything. I think that is all my plan. No, I've got one hidden. It's a little bit daunting. I've got Assassin's Quest here by Robin Hobb. This is the third book in the Farseer trilogy. It's one of my favourite fantasies. It is probably the favourite fantasy of mine. I'm still currently working on Royal Assassin. It's been slow going because it's very political and I know what happens and I'm scared. So it's stressing me out a little bit, so I've had to kind of put it on hold. So I may not get to this one straight away because I'm still working on that one. But if I do, this is the next book to pick up. And I think I'm not quite as stressed out in this one as I was in the other one. I have a feeling, oh, my mouth's gone dry. Have I got a bit of cold tea left? Yeah, I do. So with Hobb in the Fitz books, there always tends to be a kind of a setup book which has kind of a mixture of pacing. So there's some calmer moments as well as some heartbreaking moments as well, and some tense moments. Then the middle book is always the political one, and that is always the one that I feel stressed in. So there's a lot of moving off the chessboard pieces and stuff happening, and there's decisions where you're like, oh no, don't do that, and then what are we doing about this? And there's just it makes me feel a bit on edge. Then the third book's always the quest book where they go off and deal with stuff, and that makes me feel less on edge because we have action and we're moving. But I do love the political ones as well. I think it's just because at the moment I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Anyway, I'm doing waffling. I may or may not read Assassin's Quest, but I'm continuing to work through my reread of this, and I am really enjoying it, but I need to read it at the right time when my brain is not completely confuzzled. Ta-da! And we're done. Okay, I'm going to probably go to sleep. Might be the best plan for me now. Thank you so much for staying with me amid the waffle. Are you taking part in any readathons in May? I would love to know. How are you finding your reading at the moment? How are you doing? How are you? I am plodding along, trying to ignore certain things. I'm definitely at the point of needing to recuperate energy in order to give myself the ability to go back out there into the world. So that's currently where I am. I hope you're all doing okay. I hope the sunshine is, for those of you who have it at the moment, is nice and you're getting all of the vitamin D good vibes, but also shade, drink water, put sun cream on, all good stuff. And yeah, just look after yourself, read books that you need to in the moment, and I hope you all have happy reading. Bye.